Hello everyone, it's Angela. Welcome back here to my channel today. I'm here just to bring you a little short video for a little center spread for your journal that we're working on. I'm working on an autumn journal, so I hope that you are either doing the same, or if you live in the southern hemisphere, of course, possibly a spring one. Well, I've got some of these book pages that I have been using, and I wanted to visit something that I did probably 2 years ago, and that's what we're going to work on today. So you're going to need a book page. Now this book page does go in the center of my journal. It will be the center spread. You can use absolutely any book page that you have. So this is from a shrubs and trees book, but of course it doesn't really matter, as you will see as it evolves. All right, so I'm using the first signature, the one with the pumpkin on the front, the same one that I put this very first project in. So I'm going to just move that to the side for the moment and put it over there, and I'm going to focus then on transforming this book page. Now I'm going to use some paper napkins today. I'm going to do a little bit of decoupage my way, the way I do it, and I'm sure there are loads of ways, but this is the way I tackle it, and I'm no decoupage expert, but this always works for me. So I hope you're going to enjoy following along. Right, so I'm going to start with that first of all, and I'm going to do that on this section of the page, so the inside right page. And I have managed to get hold of a napkin that I like. So this is an autumn one that goes with the designs that I'm working with. And I really love this because it had more of the reds and the pinks in here. So what I thought I would do is just talk you through how I do that very quickly. So you'll need to grab a napkin. As you know, you have a couple of layers with a napkin, so I'm just going to show you how I go about doing that. Now the first one's pretty easy to remove, so if you've never done this before, this is the way to go about it. So the first one, you want to grip. Now the easy way to do this is grab a piece of sellotape, or this is masking tape, and then press it down onto the white layer underneath and pull that off. And then use the other side, and I have used the other side. This is a harder one to get rid of, but often there's a second layer, so you want to pull that on there and pull that one off as well. So there it comes. All right, so that's the way to tackle that, and pull all those layers right off. So there's just the other bit there, and you have a very flimsy layer there. Okay, so you see you've got two usually stuck on there, and I'm not going to worry with taking that off because I've done that already, but I just wanted to show you if you weren't sure. That way you're going to get a really thin piece to work with, which is going to work perfectly for what we're going to do. Now there are a couple of ways to do this. If you're wanting this particular part of the image here, I've got two ways that you could do this. One is you can just fussy cut this out with the scissors. So if, for example, you were wanting this leaf over here, the red one, you could actually just go like this and fussy cut it. So that's the one way. The other way is, which I've just now, oh, here it is I've got this water pencil pen thing. So it's like from watercolor brushes. This is an empty one I filled with water, and the other way to do that is just to press the water and move that around the area that you want to loosen. So I'll just show you a little bit here and show you what I mean. So it keeps it all nice and neat, the water. You could use an earbud or a Q-tip, that would work as well. And then with the water just wetting the paper, it makes it really easy to remove. Okay, so that's the other way you could do it. So just where it's wet, so it's just a case of wetting the area like that, and then it'll just come away. All right, so I have used a combination of, well, mostly this method. Also, because the water is so little, it dries pretty quickly as well, and then you're able to use the pieces that you want to remove. So I'll just put that to the side as well. All right, so these are great if you've got one of these sort of water pens, or just a normal brush would work as well. Lots of options, all fussy cut, as I say. Right, so what I want to do is I've pulled out a piece here, a few pieces here, because I didn't want to be sitting here all day with you doing this. And you can see it gives you these nice fluffy edges if you do it with the water. So I am going to, this one I fussy cut out, so you get a little bit of a different look, more definite edges there. So I thought I would do a combination just to show you what they were about. And then I'm going to show you how I attach these to my page. So this will actually pick up and the writing will come through, and it's going to sort of all blend in, and I really love the look that it gives. Now the way I do this is I use a glue stick to stick this down initially. This works pretty well. You just need to be quite gentle. I am using my mat, which really works well because it's cleans really easily just with a baby wipe when I'm finished. So just very gently put the glue stick onto the actual paper piece, and then just touch that down onto the top here. Now if you've got a piece and you've made a bit of a wrinkle, it's easy just to pick that up. Just use your fingers, they're the best tools, and there you've got a piece down there. All right, so do that again with the next bit, and again just gently get the glue all over the surface. Okay, and then we can put the next piece down. I find this is easier for me. There are lots of ways to do this, but I don't know, this is just the way I do it. Okay, there we go. So see how quick that is. Right, and then the last piece, which is the biggest piece, we leave the best for last. And it's just being patient, you know, just gentle strokes here, and you can't go wrong. If it comes to a bit that you're sticking down and it hasn't got glue on it, you can always just lift that up and deal with that then. Okay. Just feeling where I don't have the glue. Right, there we go. Okay, where was that edge bit? So there's the edge bit. And before I stick that down, I'm just going to take my wipe and just wipe the glue off. These mats work really well because they are very forgiving, and you just need a baby wipe, and there you go, you know, so you can't go wrong with that. Right, I'm going to get this fairly lower down here. And then I'm just going to start, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm just taking it a little piece at a time, which is what you need to do with these bigger pieces. You know, just start from one side, and then you can lift it up if you're not quite happy with it. And this one here, is that going to be all right? Yeah, it's going to do a bit of a Michelangelo over here. Instead of hands, fingers, it's leaves. Quite like that, really. Okay, and then like here, for example, this doesn't have quite enough glue on it, so I've just put a little bit more on, and that's okay, because you'll see what we're going to do afterwards. I think there's a little bit over here as well, and a little bit over there. And just put it straight onto the page itself. Just run it over the edge of any of the areas. But we will seal it all down in a minute. Okay, so there we go. No wrinkles, and that's the joy of that. Okay. Right, so we've got all of that lying down really nicely. I've just seen another bit over here that hasn't quite stuck properly, but as you working with it, you'll pick those up. There we go, that's perfect. Okay, so that's that bit, and that's going to that looks lovely, but it's going to even look better with our next step. Now, bit of Mod Podge, And you could actually use this as your initial step if you don't have a glue stick. Oops, me throwing the water everywhere. The mat's really getting a wash now. Right, so what I've done here is I've got a bit of Mod Podge, and I'm going to just take a big gloopy amount, like about that much, and I'm going to put it into the lid here like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take 2 dollops of water just to thin this down quite a lot. I want it to be very workable, so very watery really. Okay, so there's no science to this, just make it quite watery so it's not as thick as it normally is. There we go. I'm just doing it in the lid, and I'll wipe off my brush. Let's get this out the way before I get it all over something else. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is any areas that haven't quite stuck underneath, this is a good time. Now you want to just take this and with your light strokes cover the whole area here, and you'll know that you've really saturated it and sealed it because the writing starts to come through, which is great. And just do it really gently from the middle to the edge, just in case you've got any sort of creases anywhere, and then they sort of just come out. Not that I have any, but you know, it does happen. So oops, that bit just went the wrong way. And I do love the effect of the napkins on old book pages. You can create some beautiful things. Right, so that's that one pretty well covered. Just check your edges. And as that saturates the paper, I'm going to take that bit off. You know, it's, oops. There we go. And that'll dry really nicely. Okay, and then the last little bit over here. Right, so what we'll do now is I'll just put that over there. Give your board a nice wipe, that way you know it's always nice and clean. And what I'll do is I'm just going to let that dry very nicely now, and I'll come back to you when that's all lovely and dry. So I'll see you shortly. Okay, so you can see this is drying really nicely. It's not completely dry, but it's just about. And I'm just going to put that to one side as we go on with a couple of other things. Now, I want to start with this side as well. And what I've done here is I'm going to actually turn this page over and make a bit of a tuck spot here. So, just want to give you a little bit of a measurement here, and I think it's about 1.5 inches. So, sorry, just over 1.5 inches there or thereabouts. So I'm going to make it about 1 3/4 inches, and I will tell you that in centimeters, that is 4.5 centimeters. So I am just going to make a bit of a tuck spot here and turn this over. So let's just do that. Just using my bone folder here, and I'm going to just fold that over there like that. Right, there we go. Now we're going to do a couple of things to each side of this page. I will end up decorating this area here, but what I'm going to focus on quickly is what's going to go on the other side of the page here. Alright, so at the moment I'm just going to do it this way while that is drying. and I want to put two little envelopes here. I keep wanting to say pockets, envelopes. So what I did was, depending on the size of your page, you need to measure your page. My page is, I think, 7 3/4 inches. Yeah, 7 3/4 inches. So what I did was I just left a little gap to be able to space two envelopes next to each other. So I've taken worked on about 7.5 inches, or in this case that's just 19.7 centimeters. So I've just left myself a little space, and as I'll show you shortly. So this is what I'm going to do with the little envelopes. Now these little envelopes, and I'll show you how I made them in a moment, look like this. I'll show you, I've only decorated one so that I could show you the other. They're going to fit on this area over here like that. And now you can see what I mean about having just a very small space in between these two envelopes here, just so that it's ease of opening like that. All right, so that's what I'm going to be sticking onto that area there. Now these little envelopes, they've just been decorated up, and I'll show you how I did that in a moment. Let me show you how I made these. So let's just turn this back again and leave that over there. So you're wanting two. Now what I did was I took this paper here. This is a scrap, so I thought I'd just show you with a scrap. The measurement here from there to there, I think it's 3.5 inches, if I'm not wrong. And that, yeah, 3 3/4 inches. Now bearing in mind I'm working on my page size, you will need to work on your page size. Get the halfway mark between your page and just make it ever so little bit narrower, just so that they're not they fit easily on the page. So that's my suggestion there. But mine is 3 3/4 inches, and in centimeters, it's just short of 9.5 centimeters. Okay. Then what I did was I folded 1.5 inches from the top area, or 4 centimeters, and I folded that down. Now before you do that, I would make sure with this paper that you've got this facing the correct way. When I first did this, I had it like this, and when I folded it up, these were going to be upside down. But if that doesn't worry you, there isn't really an up and, because it is actually going to go side on, but that was just me. So when you're folding, making this kind of envelope, just make sure that the visual you're going to have on the front is the way you want it to be. Right, so in this case, this is just a strip of the edge of my page, so 21 centimeters or 8.5 inches there or thereabouts, 8 1/4 I think for A4. I've just measured 3 3/4 inches, or the 9.5 centimeters, and cut off a whole wedge. So I've folded this up 7.5 centimeters or 3 inches from the bottom, and I've folded this down 1.5 inches or 4 centimeters there, and that's going to give me my pocket. All I did then was just to take my little corner rounder and make those round. Then I just went and I sewed all around the perimeter here, and then you end up with something like that. Now because this is a reprint, I had this on the inside, but if it's white, you could just stencil there if you wanted to, and that would look lovely. It was just because I had used this from another piece of paper that I've got an image there. You could print an image on the inside yourself as well. Okay, so as you can see, I've just stitched around the edge there like that, and now I've got my little envelopes, and I'm going to do a little bit of decoration like I have over here. So first of all, I've got a little doily that goes through my die cut machine that I've had when I had a cuttle bug, which was a really long time ago. Oh gosh, all the stuff came out of that. And it's just a full circle of one of these. And for the life of me, I don't know where I got it from. I got it secondhand. So I have just taken a doily die and cut it in half. And I'm going to just stick that onto the top there. Now this one is just ever so slightly too long, so I'm just chopping that bit off. as you do, like that. So I'm going to stick, and I'll probably do the same over here, just so that those little bits don't end up getting ruined. You know, if you've got a frilly doily or whatever, you could just take a mini doily, a white one, stencil on that, or, you know, use it as it is. That would work just as well. Now I'm going to stick that half a doily down quickly. So let's do that. So yeah, just get some of these little frilly bits in as well. Just using the art glitter glue because this little point does work well for these fiddly bits here. Okay, so get that edge nice and glued as well. Right, so I'm going to just stick this down, not quite to the very top, but as close to it as I can. Right, and that'll just like lap over there slightly. Okay, I don't think I put glue on there, no. Right, and then what I've done is I've just fussy cut out those leaves that I gave in the freebie in my Facebook group, and I'm just going to glue these down. I'm really bringing in some of the autumn bits here, and I'm going to just stick that probably like this and probably cut off that little extra bit there. Just like that, and get that all nice and sticking down. And then I've just taken one of the butterflies as well, and I am just going to stick that down as well. Okay, so I'm just putting a few layers on here, you know, couldn't resist a few autumn butterflies. And there we have our two little envelopes for the one side of our book page. Gosh, can't get my words out today. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move that down like that, and I'm going to stick these down like this, like that. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about making further pockets with these. I think there's enough going on in this particular one that it's not quite, it's a little bit over the edge, but that's okay. Just going to stick that all down like that. I quite like this because I'm a person, I like a bit of a center spread in my signatures in the middle. So I either like to put an image that goes across both pages, like the pumpkin in this one, or I want to do something that's, you know, meant to go in the middle. So that's why I've thought of this one now. Right, so we've got our glue ready. We're going to put this one quite close to the other one. Move that a bit down like that. There we go. We can stick that down. We can stick our little bits in there, little notes or whatever, when you're journaling. So there, that's the one side of that. Now on the other side of that, we have got, and I think I'm going to actually just make this a little bit narrower, like that. I think that's going to be better. Right. Yeah, there we go. So we've got that there, and these, and I'm just going to put a little bit of a frilly bit going on here. So what I've done is I've taken some of the yellow background page. I've just cut a piece to fit on the edge here like that, and then I have just taken my sari ribbon. I managed to find an old piece of this one, which is variegated, lying in my sari box there, and I have just pleated it and zigzagged down the middle. So I'm going to stick that down over the edge here. So I thought these colors picked up these pretty nicely, so go and see what you can find. You could use instead of the sari ribbon, you could use fabric, you could use paper and make a paper ruffle. you know, don't be limited. Go and have a look at what you can use. Some old, something you're throwing out, often tablecloths or clothing. You might just pick up something that will go with what you are working with. Right, now, don't want to take this straight to the top. Now, I have left a little gap on the top and the bottom, and the reason for that is because I will be stitching right around here just to secure that tuck spot as well. Okay, so alternatively, what we can do is, and I'll just do it with this one, is just glue the edges here, the top and the bottom, just so that you can secure your tuck spot rather than sewing. So let's do that today instead of sewing. There we go. So we've got our little tuck spot ready there. We've got this bit that's just about dry. And then I'm going to just do a few decorations here quickly. Wondered why my eyesight wasn't so great. Right, now with this side and with this paper here, I managed to fussy cut out some of the pumpkins, leaves and things. And I just wanted to stick some of those down on this side here, so I'm just gripping them off the board. So as you can see, I've just cut out a couple, 2 leaves and 2 pumpkins. I want to just lay these up because it is autumn that we're doing this journal, or I'm doing the autumn journal, so I just want to do put some autumn elements on here. So I'm going to stick this one down at the bottom, and I'm going to just put a little leaf going to the side here like that, and then I'll just layer that over there like that, and then I'm going to just do the same over there as well, so just to give it a bit of interest, because usually I'd stick a butterfly down, but I thought, okay, we've got these, so let's make use of these. So yeah, I quite like that. I'll get the leaf to go the other way now. There we go. And this one can just go the other way. There we go. So that's just that side finished. Now this side here, I need to fold this, and this is feeling much drier now, so it's nice and dry. Let's just put that to the side. What I wanted to do was, I am going to put on the back here a little pocket, a thin narrow pocket, using one of my templates. So this is the template I've copied onto card, and this you'll find in my templates part 2 kit, where I've got these and a number of or is this template 1? I think it's template 1 actually. So it's in my exciting envelopes template, sorry. I'll put the link down below and confirm exactly which one it is. I think it's the first one. So this will make a nice pocket, and this is the little tag that goes inside the pocket. So it's just a case of lying this on the paper you want to use, drawing around it and cutting it out. So I did that. So here we have the little pocket that I've cut out, and I've just folded those sides in, as you can see, and now you have the areas to glue down here, so that's going to end up going just over here. So I want to just mark the area quickly with my pencil of where I want to fold this back. Well, it's in actually, not back, but I think I will do it at this mark here. So I'll do it with my pencil because I can always rub that out. Okay. I have got something else I want to finish just on the inside. So as you can see, it's just short of the center there, like that, just short. And then you can go and do this. Now, make sure that when you do this, that this is dry. Otherwise, it's going to stick and be a problem. Okay, so I'm going to just open it up at this point while we're working on it, and then I will just stick this down. So I'm going to just take my glue and run it all over this inside pocket. Now, when you're making these kind of pockets, it's best to have a template, I find, because it can be fiddly to measure, and that's why I use a lot of templates, because it makes my job quick and easy. And what I did is I'll show you the piece of paper that I have actually used to create this piece. So so that you know what it is that I'm on about. Now, just got to find it over here quickly for you. This was the sheet of paper that has this border on both sides, and then in the middle was some pumpkins. So this is in the middle, and then you've got this and this on each side. So I've cut out the pumpkins to in a postcard size to use for something further, and I'm keeping that because I might use that for something else. But I used the other side, which is a match-up of this side, to make this part here, and then I've cut the tag out, the tag base from there. Okay, so that's what I've done. Here's the tag itself, so you can see that's the top of it, used as a base. Then I've just used those wildflower dies that I've cut out from these paper scraps, background pages and things, stuck on a butterfly and one of my little sentiments at the bottom there. So I've put that onto card. And I'm going to just, I've got this lovely washi that I got, that I had, which I thought went so well with the colours. I thought I would just cut a piece off. So look through your washi collection and see if you can. Just wanted to add a little bit of interest and just bringing some bits and pieces there. You could even put a little sprig of a flower there as well, which I might do, which I'm not going to hassle you with now. So that's going to go into that tag pocket over there like that. Just a little bit of ribbon on the top. Okay, so I want to just finish off this little section. Yeah, I've also got this little leaf that's from the skeleton leaves, and I was going to yeah, that's the bit I'm going to stick it on the page with, and that goes there. And I was going to actually stick this on, wasn't I? Yeah, let's do that. Sorry, I'm all over the place here today. So I do love these skeleton leaves, and they are really making the journal look so autumny. Autumny, is that a word? Doesn't sound like. Bringing in the feeling of autumn, that sounds better. Okay, so can't get enough of these leaves at the moment. So I'm going to, I shouldn't have put the glue all the way up. I think I'm going to just lean this over like that, and then this side I'm going to just wipe this glue off. Right. So there we go. Let that dry there. Then again, just taking an autumn sentiment, autumn whispers, and I'm going to just stick that down over here. And I do like all the autumn sentiments as well. I am loving the sentiments all over the place. So I'm going to stick that at the bottom here, I think. Okay. So that's looking great, and we want to just be mindful of how we open that at the moment. Okay, and then over here you can do a little bit of stenciling here. I thought I'd do a little bit of stenciling on this side as well. So I'm going to use the Tattered Rose Distressed Oxide again, and I'm going to just unhook my stencil. So I'm using this one, and I just wanted to put a few little bits here and there. Just a few little bits here and there, so not much. Oh, we just got a thread here, so let's take that off. And then you could even do that on this side if you wanted to. Just to bring out some of those autumn shades, you know. Okay, so I've got some bits there. I can show you now if I lift this up what that's looking like, if you can see that. All right, so it's looking dimensional now. I like that. Right, and then on this side I wanted to stick a butterfly, and I've just got to find what I've done with it. Okay, so I've got the butterfly that I've cut out there. I'm going to put that just over here, and I did distress it just a little bit on the edges just to give it a bit more color, and I wanted to just bring that in over there, and that would then finish off. Now don't put it on your fold line, so it'll need to be you know, somewhere either side of that. So just put that down, and I actually cut out the antenna as well, which I don't normally do. So I think I'm going to put it just here, like that. And that is pretty much everything here. So we've got our little tuck spot here with a little journal card. We've got our two little pockets over here, which we can easily fit some little notes in. We've got this beautiful decoupage section, which just gives you a beautiful autumn feeling, which I love. Then that closes up, and you've got your little tag that goes into your little slimline pocket over here. All right, so the only area that is left undecorated is this bit, and that's the bit that we're going to fix it into our journal page with. So if I bring this back again, this journal page here, which is the center, I want to then just put that at this sort of point over here, like that. So when you open it, you're able to see everything like that. And I'm not sure whether I should have put that over there or maybe have moved that over. We'll see about that. Right. Okay, so then it's just a case of gluing this down. So you could make this another tuck spot if you didn't glue it on all four sides. So you could do that as well. But I'm going to leave it at that point. So I'm going to stick this down like this. You can put it straight in the middle as well. Perhaps that's what we should do. So let's do that as it is a center spread. So push that down like that. Push that all nicely down. Now this will bend, so maybe I should just make it bendable. It's a nice card, so you know it could actually, let's stick that down. That would be good. And then it can just bend on the little fronds, it's on the bits of the leaves itself. At least then it's going to stay in place. I like something that goes off the page. I will say that I do. I don't like to be limited by the edge of the page, if I'm honest. So there, that's great. And then we can just make sure that we've got that tucked in. There we go. Now, when we open it, we've got our page that we can look at like that, but then we've got it stuck like that. So that works well. I like that. And this is looking lovely now. Gosh, such vibrant colors. Then we've got our little bit over there, as I said. And there we go. It all works beautifully together. And then that's going to then go into the rest of our signature, which is coming along beautifully. We won't have these bits sticking out, of course, but there we have it. Okay, everyone, I hope you've enjoyed that and had lots of fun with me. I thoroughly am enjoying how this is coming together, the vibrancy of the colors and everything and the sentiments. I hope you're having lots of fun following along. As I keep saying, you can use this in any theme, you know, these ideas in any theme. It doesn't have to be an autumn journal. But whatever you're making, I hope that you're just having a lot of joy and finding time for yourself and just experiencing, you know, the pleasures of journaling, which is addictive, I feel. Well, have a wonderful weekend, everybody. I hope to see you very soon in our very next video. Thank you so much for all your kind words and compliments. And I'll see you in the Facebook group. Bye-bye.